Hey everyone, welcome to episode 11 of the Three Spiritual Chicks podcast. I'm Rose Red.
Peace, everyone. I'm Jazz, the medium.
Hey y'all, I'm Joy, aka A Joyous Connection. All right, so um, let me just throw this little what's it called? I can't think of the word, but y'all know a medium shipping problem. Let me throw this little tidbit out here for this little sponsorship kind of for Miss Rose Red here. So y'all, if y'all need some Reiki healing, y'all better go to Rose Red, okay? We were
Okay.
just having a conversation. And she was like, "Oh, girl," because I was having some ear pressure. And so she was like, "Oh, that's some sinus stuff. I'm going to send you some Reiki healing." I said, "Okay, it's fine." She didn't told me all the instructions, y'all. She said, "Joy, um, you're going to start having drainage. You're going to have this." I'm like, "Oh, no problem. I got this. I feel great." After she did it. Y'all, this drainage is off the freaking chain.
You know that out of there.
It's all the chain, but y'all go get y'all readings or y'all Reiki healing from my good sis, Rose
Thank you.
Red.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, I have to share my experience with Miss Rose Red. Um, I have allergies and severe seasonal asthma, and the allergy medicine that I'm taking right now, and the inhaler I'm using, is just not working. So, uh, Miss Rose Red was like, I'm gonna send you some Reiki. So I was like, okay. So was this last night, Rose Red, or the night before? This
Yeah.
was last
It was
night.
last night.
So my plan
We
was
got
to
off our
go
call.
upstairs and I laid in the bed for a second and I'm gonna get up and go take a shower and get ready for bed. So while I'm laying in the bed, I just started sneezing and coughing like crazy. It was about maybe like 9:07 ish. I had to tap my inhaler. I'm like, what's going on? My eyes were burning and itching. My nose just started running out the blue. I'm like, oh my God. Oh, I'm dying. I'm dying. I'm dying. And then, and then all of a sudden it just went away. And then I got very, very, very sleepy. And next thing you know, it was 9:37 and I hadn't gotten up yet to get in the shower. And here come Miss Rose Red. You all right? And she told me she sent it about 9. So fast forward today, mind y'all, I have had an asthma attack or two every day for the past 2 weeks. Like my inhaler has been, I've been sleeping with it in my hand like this. I have not had an asthma attack all day today. I can breathe through my nose today. The only symptom that I have left is that my eyes are a little bit itchy, and that's it. So, y'all, whatever she did, it worked. I felt much better today. My eyes weren't running all day today. I felt pretty good today. And you get tired once you feel like that every day for a while. You be kind of drained. I had more energy
Mhm.
today. So good job. You did really good with that.
Well, thank you. And then also too, I got tired because our body heals when we're sleeping, which is why they recommend 8 hours of sleep. So that's another reason why y'all both was kind of like out of it after I sent it. So I appreciate that.
Mhm.
So
So
on
since we're on here talking about it, I do want you to kind of tell everybody what led you down that path. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but
it's okay. What led me down this path? You want the long story or the quick story? So, um, with having my background in healthcare, I've always wanted to help people. Um, so that's always been in my nature, like the I call it the nurse in me. Um, and I've also always been led to remedies, natural remedies. So I'm the one people call, but like, hey, I got this going on. I don't want to take no medicine. What can I do? Um, so did I see it in a dream? I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not quite sure how it came to me. But the interesting part is, of course, I feel that my spiritual team led me down this path. Because as we discussed in a previous episode, you heard Jazz mention the three types of mediumship, and one of the types of mediumship was a healing medium. So based on some other experiences that I've had, where I've helped family members and close friends feel better with regards to an ailment of the body. I think that's kind of what led me down the path. I'm gonna be honest, I don't really recall. Um, but I just really felt drawn to it. Once I saw information about it and I heard about it, I was like, I gotta do this. And then, of course, I'm the stubborn one. I'm the hard headed one. So of course my mama had to be like, "Yeah, you got the money. Go ahead, pay for that class." When I say
Mhm.
I got the information within a week, I paid for the class. Got a discount. Did it in one weekend. So when you go through the process, your body goes through its own for spiritual elevation. I'm gonna call it. Cause these ladies will tell y'all them attunements been kicking my ass, okay? So I'm finally feeling normal. What I mean by normal is I'm not tired. Like I would sleep 8 hours and still be tired. Like I wanted to lie down and go to sleep. So yeah, I would say that's how I got to it. And I'm realizing why they wanted me to do it because it's helping me more on my spiritual journey because it's connected to the other things that we do. Like there's yeah, it's connected to like the mediumship. It helps me with the intuition. Like even with how both Joy and Jazz just said their symptoms, to where I was able to do that without going through the steps of the Reiki. I was able to do the Reiki using other things as a psychic medium. I'm just going to put it simply to say it like that. Like I didn't have to do the textbook way of doing the healing. So, yeah.
Yeah. Let me go back when she said, well, she ain't saying like this, but the dang on attunement was whooping hot. Okay. She got we had our call yesterday and me and Jazz both said, ooh, Tiara said, oh, my attunement's over. I said, oh, you seem so much lighter.
My baby girl was spent. Sister
Yeah,
girl
for
was
three
spent
weeks.
3 weeks. But
Yeah.
for those who don't know, look I looked on my good friend Le Google to tell you what Reiki is. For those who don't know what Reiki healing is, and it says it's a Japanese healing technique that aims to facilitate the body's natural healing abilities by channeling universal life force energy. And some can do it just by transferring energy remotely. Some can do by touch. There's all different types of therapies that you can do with Reiki. Um, Tiara, do you care to share like what types of benefits Reiki has?
So I will share two um I'll share two reviews that I got from clients. I'll do that. One thing with Reiki is you can go back to the past. Now it doesn't change the outcome, but it will change how you felt about a situation. So I do have someone that I did Reiki on to help them in a relationship. There was something that happened, that they thought they forgave their partner for, but they didn't because it was still subconsciously affecting them. And I was able to go back to that month, and they reported to me within that day, their actions felt different towards their partner. Like they had feelings, pretty much wanting to jump their bones. Instead of it feeling like a duty, they actually felt attracted to their partner and actually wanted to be intimate with them. Another thing I have done, I have one of my clients, actually, it's a good girlfriend of mine. She suffers, as they know offline, that I was having sciatica, which is I have a, excuse me, a bulging disc in my back, and the pain radiates down the nerve of my left leg. So Reiki helped me with that, so I no longer have that pain. And I was actually able to do it for one of my friends over the weekend. So where I did her session, she woke up the next morning and she said she did a stretch. She said she felt a little bit of the tightness in her leg, but she has not had it since, and it's been 4 days since I've done her Reiki. So you can use it for a lot of different things. You can also use it for animals. You can use the healing for your plants. As I say, you can go back to the past, but you can also focus on a situation, a place. There's so many uses for it that I'm learning right now. And it's, yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm glad that I've incorporated this on my journey. I feel it's helping me be a better me, um and also helping to strengthen my spiritual gifts that I already have.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah.
I feel that you'll do really good with that. And
Thank you.
also you also shared with us one time that you can do Reiki on yourself as well, right?
Yes. Yes. You can do it on yourself as well. But the only thing it didn't, well, one time that I tried it, it's so technique that we can do to give ourselves energy. So I don't recommend that you try to do that during the attunements because it did not work. Okay, it did not work. However, now I'm able. Matter of fact, before we jumped on here, gave myself some energy because it's been a long day. And it worked. So you can do it on yourself. And of course, one thing we talk about on here, we don't, to do Reiki, I need a person's consent. It's nothing that I'm doing without anyone knowing. Okay. So I definitely want to say that disclaimer. So yeah, I'm excited, happy, of course, a little nervous, but I ain't got nothing to be nervous about. So I'ma chill. you
Nothing to
know,
be nervous about.
walking into this is a definition of me walking into my purpose because I had no idea I would be doing this. So I'm excited. And thank y'all ladies for letting me, do my thing. Get a little practice in.
No problem. Thank you, girl.
Mhm. So Joy, have you ever had Reiki before
I
Tiara?
have. I have. Couple years ago, had Ricky done. Not remote, but I actually went to a place. Um, what I can say from that session, um, you can go through a ton of emotions,
Hmm.
like doing that. 'Cause I went through, of course, she let me know like what blockages and things that I had during the time, um, and things. It just had me kind of meditating, but I definitely was in there crying like a mud, yeah. So I was crying and things, and um, afterwards, I can say I wasn't tired afterwards with that session. I think she may have pushed some more, pushed the energy back into me because I was like energized, felt like I was on a high for like 2 or 3 days. I
Hmm.
kid you not. Um, yeah, so that session was really good that I had with her. Mhm.
So
I had a
Jay,
few sessions. I had yes.
go ahead.
Uh I had a few sessions. I had one lady, she did in alignment, like she aligned and cleared all my chakras. And that was
Mm,
a really good session. And through that session, she was able to tune into some of my ancestors. And she didn't really like, advertise herself as a medium, but she was able to pick up on things and see things and images through those sessions. Like Tiara said, that Reiki can, enhance some of your other gifts. Um, another session I had through a massage. I went to a spa. They did a massage. He did Reiki. During that massage, I felt that one. I felt really relaxed. It was like I had a lot of energy, but I felt really relaxed. Oh,
Mm,
just a disclaimer. Forgive me if y'all see me yawning. For some reason, when I get on here, it's like my senses they more enhanced. And I did read this article not too long ago that says like whenever like intuitive people are around each other, the y'all gifts tend to enhance. But I pick up a lot more impressions, and usually when there's spirits around, I usually it's weird, but I usually I'll burp or I'll yawn a lot. That means it's spirit
mm.
present. I feel cold, but I'm just to let you know, I'm not yawning because I'm bored. I'm just there's something here, somebody or something, someone, something here. That's all.
Yeah, our
But,
energy is always high when we get together.
but yes,
Definitely.
I think Ricky is a good one to have. Do you feel like you'll specialize in any particular types of Ricky, or you're not sure yet?
I'm gonna be honest, I'm unsure yet. I will say from what I've done this far, I like the healing aspect of it. When people come with a specific ailment or symptoms, and I'm so far been able to relieve them. However, no, I'm unsure. I'm unsure because I like going back to the past too and seeing the effects of that as well. So I'm unsure. I
Mhm.
have some time,
I did
but I
have a session, and I'll never forget this. But and shout out to my friend Danielle, aka Lotus some more. She's a Reiki master. She can teach it.
mm,
And she was calling in the archangels, and I'll never forget. She was calling in the archangels, and I was able to see like they were like bright. It was like bright light, almost blinding light that I was able to see as they were coming in.
ooh,
And she was, I guess, asking me questions. I don't remember her asking me questions, but I guess I kind of went in a trance. I'm gonna have to show y'all that video one day
okay.
because you can hear like the variations in my voice. You can hear my voice change a little bit. But I do remember them being like flashes as she was calling them in. I was able to see flashes of very bright,
Mm.
blinding light. It's like a blinding light that I was able to look directly into, but it was very bright, blinding light coming in as she called the archangels in. I just thought it was interesting.
So with that, do you feel you could see them because you already have gifts?
Perhaps. Um, but I'm a believer that everyone has gifts, but it may
Mm,
not be the case. And maybe during that Reiki session I was more enhanced.
mm, okay.
Yeah.
So I
You
was
go
just
tell
gonna ask. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead, Jazz.
you fine. You fine, go ahead.
I was gonna ask. So, is it a belief that all Reiki healers have oh sorry are psychic or have mediumship abilities, or does it just vary from person to person?
I think your level of intuition varies. So I think Reiki is like an enhancer. Prime example, Tiara, what's your eyesight without your glasses on?
Cool. I'm blind as hell. I'm honestly, I don't know, but it's bad.
Or when you put your glasses on, how good is your eyesight?
I mean, I'm gonna say 2020, but I'd be lying.
So I feel like Ricky is the glasses.
Hmm.
Mhm.
That makes
So
sense.
anyone can, you know what I'm saying? Everyone has psychic gifts and everyone can develop them. It's just that some people need to work a little bit harder than some others. Some others just kind of naturally tune in or they're naturally a little bit more enhanced. And it's no different than like Joy, your eyesight might be a little better than you might be able to see a little clearer than Tierra or like your hearing Tiara might be better than mine, you know.
Mm,
It's just it's they're to me, they're just extra perception senses, but they're natural senses that we have. Anybody can walk in a room and sense danger, you know what I
mm,
mean? But somebody psychic like you or me will know before we get to the building that there's something wrong. Like, have you ever got up and went to work and knew it was gonna be a trashy day? Like, shit, let me just go to
Mhm.
let me just go up in here, see what's going on. And you go to
mm,
work, the day be trash, but somebody who maybe not be as hands, they'll feel it as soon as they walk in the door. Like, man, something fell off today. You
mm,
always hear people say, man, I had a feeling something was off today. I had a feeling. That's
mm.
their intuition. So Ricky,
And
just like that lens.
it's interesting that you said that because my teacher, um I forgot what she had asked me something, and how I answered her. She was like, "Oh, so you have some spiritual gifts?" She was like, "That'll help you well with Reiki." I do not remember the exact question, but however
Yeah.
I answered her, she was like, "Okay, you had some spiritual gifts, so it'll, she was like, you'll do very well in Reiki." So that makes sense. That makes
So in
sense.
our actuality, when you feel like the Reiki will enhance the gifts that you already have, it's the opposite around. Your
Mm-hmm.
gift will enhance your
Enhance.
Reiki. Uh-huh. And how you heal, or whatever you decide to do with it. And for those who are interested in Reiki, there is an endless amount of things that you can do with it. I mean, endless amounts. I used to send people to Reiki work because I used to work in a very highly stressful unit, and I would send people to Reiki to work just cause. Don't nobody know why they feeling good. Everybody just chilling like this.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'll tell everybody too, because you shouldn't do without permission. But like, man, you know what? I'm gonna send all y'all some energy because y'all energy stank up in
Mm-hmm.
here.
Mhm.
But it got to
Oh,
the point where people be like, Jazz, you know what? I feel much better when you here. I wonder why. I wonder why.
so it's funny that y'all, yeah, you can do that because y'all already know offline some of what I've been dealing with at work. So
Mhm.
Tierra did Reiki to only allow those that need to speak to me. And yeah, for like a whole week, I ain't had nobody bothering my cubicle. But maybe like two or three people. So yeah, you can use it for a lot of different things. So you just, yeah. But okay, as I'll start saying what my niche is, but cool.
So, Tierra, if anyone wanted to contact you and reach you about your Reiki services, how would they reach you?
You see me looking right because I'm trying to remember my number. So right now I do have a telephone number, a business number. And let me see. So
Just tell them to go to your link tree, and they can contact you via the phone number
oh,
on
you know
there.
what? You're right. I'm sorry. So you
I
can
was
go
about to put
to,
your number on
well,
the
yeah,
ticker.
but I was gonna go to the number two. But you can go to Four Rose Red on Instagram and click on my link tree, and you'll be able to contact me directly. But I
Man.
also, I, so it's the reason why they had to have me get the Google number. But you can also reach me at 443-537-9121.
So 443-537-9121.
Correct.
Okay.
So I do have a question for you, Jazz. So I appreciate you, both of y'all, for shout me out for the Reiki. Because both of y'all have been on my ass about being confident in what I do. So that helps me with being confident. So I appreciate that. One of our last podcasts, Jazz, towards the end, you had some people come in, like how you said right now, that is spirits here. And you mentioned the name Albert. I do have a great grandfather, or had a great grandfather, and his name was Albert. Um,
Do you remember what your great grandmother's name was?
I do not,
It's
not
probably
on, not on that side, no. Because a great grandfather whose name was Albert was on my dad's side, so I don't. No, I don't. I never knew what his grandmother's name was on that side. I just knew what my grandfather's name was. My grandfather and great grandfather.
So she
okay.
had to mention it because as you were, look here, I'm about to tell your story. Oh, Roseman, I'm about to tell your story. As you was mentioning it, this is offline. She was like, you know what? When Jazz was talking about it, I could feel the cold. She was feeling, you were feeling coldness too on your side as she was mentioning it. So they was pretty much letting, he was pretty much letting her know he's there. I had to say that because Tiara just started medium shipping, doing what I be doing.
She's finally accepted it, so she's gonna start.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a call with Jazz last week, and she was like, "What do you want to work on?" I said, "You know what? Fuck it. I'ma stop running. Let's work on mediumship." And since then, baby, I've been medium shipping. Like, yeah, I I don't know how do we explain this to everyone that's watching? We know what it means, but how do we explain to the audience what that is when we say we medium shipping?
So, as mediums, I think it's easier for us to dissociate
Mm,
because mediums naturally hover in between. We have a connection to this world and we have a connection to the spirit realm. So we tend to hover in between, even when we're present here, because I do believe that we're all omnipresent. So we're present in both places, kind of aware of our presence. So basically, I think when we do practice mediumship, there's kind of a joining right in the middle, the medium. And that's how we're able to receive information from both sides and give information to both sides, if that makes sense. So I think what happens to some of us, especially, I just think that we tend to dissociate. We
okay.
tend to veer off, and we don't do it purposely. Sometimes it's quickly. And I know I remember for a long time I didn't realize I was doing it until somebody called it to my attention. It was a friend of mine, and I remember he was talking, and I kind of veered off, and he was like, "You back?" And I was like, "Well," he's like, "Where'd you go?" I was like, "I don't know." But then when I talked to other mediums, I found out that they tend to do it too. It's just like
Mm,
we'll veer off a little bit, we just kind of leave and come back. Like, have you ever been driving and then you just kind of come back into an awareness? You like, how I get this far? Like, you don't remember how you got from one exit to the next. You just don't. You
that
feel like,
happened to me
how I get
yesterday,
here?
y'all. We was on a whole phone call, and I just remember getting off on one of the highways, and that highway is less than 2 miles from my exit to get to my house.
Driving is
Yeah.
meditative, so that can happen. But
Mm.
also, I think too another thing that adds to it, y'all don't beat me up because I'm not giving our ages away. But perimenopause, that brain fog, that kind of adds to it too. So you already trying to keep yourself present, and then you in
Oh.
perimenopause, so you brain fogging. So it's just kind of hard to stay focused and to stay present because you start to go through a perimenopause and you start to fog at the brain. You ain't think about that,
Mm.
did
I just looked at it as me missing my exit, or us
you?
having the whole, or us having a whole conversation yesterday, and then we in a group chat this morning or was that this morning or last night, and we were talking about something, and I was like, I don't remember that, and Joy was like, but remember you said, and I was like, I don't remember that. Like a
Yeah.
whole chunk of our conversation. Tiara, I didn't remember. I did not remember. I just remember
Well,
tapping back in and was like, y'all, how did I miss my exit? What just happened? So yeah. So
and
yes.
I don't think anything's gonna be as worse as which Tier and Jazz both confirmed that I do. But Tiara was the first person to bring it to my now my husband had said this and I'd be like, he be tripping. He just don't really hear me. But me and T on the phone, and I whole lot thought I had a conversation with her, and all she heard was like, hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But I was going in. She was like, Joy, all right, call me back when you doing so. I just talked to you, said everything to you. Like, Joy, you did not. And I said, you know what? I think I was in the in between. And then I talked to Jazz. Jazz was like, yeah, Joy, you've done that to me a couple times.
Mhm.
I just
So,
let you do it. You be like, "Well, Joy, how you doing?" That's just
But then she'll
all
get
right.
mad when you don't
But
give
me being a
feedback.
medium, I know exactly what you said. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I know what she said. Like, okay, she said her day was all right. She about to fix dinner for the
Oh
kids.
man.
So all
I
Joy
hope my
said
husband watch this. He can know. Okay. He just be shaking his head like, no.
Yeah. No, it's been a couple times. I'm like, Joy, you ain't say nothing. You was like, but didn't I? And I said, yeah, we were talking about A, B, C, D, but you went to X, Y, Z, you know.
Yeah.
And then other times, well, both of y'all be fussing, talking about get out my head. And I be like, it ain't intentional. I thought that's what you said. So,
Mm.
yeah. Oh, that's funny. That is funny. That is funny.
okay. So I think it's about that time for us to go to the reading portion of it. Ladies, what did we say we were doing again?
I think we said general.
In general. All right. So I'll be rolling the dice.
Who's going first? You or me?
You know what? Let's roll the dice and see. Pick a sign. Whoever gets the first sign that I roll on the dice has to go first. All right.
Aries.
What sign you pick? Joy. I'm gonna say
Who just
Gemini.
said Aries?
She did.
Tier. I was just thinking Aries. Okay. Um. Okay, I got mine.
You gotta say it out loud.
Sagittarius.
Gotta roll again. Mm-hmm.
They
No
say y'all
five.
playing. They say y'all playing.
Swear, like, nope.
Oh, that's funny. They say y'all playing.
Aries.
So
Aries.
I think Jazz just said that, but it's all good.
No, it's right here. So Aries,
All right.
you see that? I don't know if I'm turning it right towards the camera. There you go. You see that? It's Aries. This me. It's Aries.
All right, Aries. What we got for y'all?
I guess I'll go second. Joy, you wanna go third?
Yep, I could do that.
Aries, I see some of y'all in some emotional turmoil. And I'm getting this as a relationship. However, what it is, it then like knocks you off your throne. What do I mean by knocks you off your throne? It's something that happened within your relationship that took you back. It was like a gut punch. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. It was like a gut punch to you. Um, Getting may have been some dishonesty, and you're trying to figure out how to deal with it. However, think with your mind over your heart, because your heart going, your emotions may lie to you, baby, but you gotta look at the bigger picture, and write it out. Um, Let me see one more. In the end, everything is going to work out for you, but you're going to have to do some deep healing. When we have Mo on to talk about the shadow work, a lot of times y'all hear us say that. It's going to make a lot of sense to you, because I've seen that you're codependent. There we go. You're codependent on your partner. And I'm not saying that your partner is not there to support you. However, whatever happened is affecting both of y'all. But if you were staying focused on what it is you had to do, and it's, I hate to say this word about what you bring to the table because I don't agree with that at all. But whatever decisions that you made as a couple, I felt that you didn't do your part and you depended on your partner to have it and your partner didn't, because they were depending on you to do what you were supposed to do. And it done caused a rift in your relationship right now. So I would say just sit down, get out your feelings. Once you both have a calm head, come back to the table and set a budget together. Instead of a separate budget, set a budget, a household budget together. But y'all gonna be okay. Y'all gonna be okay.
All right. I will roll.
All right, so just joy,
And I got Aquarius.
just.
I'm sorry, let me correct that. I got Pisces.
You said what?
Pisces. I'm sorry, I looked at it wrong. I'm tripping.
You said you got Pisces.
Yup.
Hmm. Look, we chose general and love keeps coming up. Pisces.
Oh,
There is
see.
something in your relationship that is stagnant that somebody wants to break free from, and it doesn't necessarily have to be each other. Um, it could be something that you two have together. It could be an energy. It could be an idea. But there is something. Um, there's something that the two of you want to break from. And I feel like it's more of an idea, like especially when it comes to the children and the family and how things should operate. Like it might be like, sometimes I feel like your family, how you were raised molds the way you raise children, right?
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes as we evolve and we grow, we kind of look at how we parent our children differently. And I feel like sometimes we want to break away from that. So I think if there's a family involved with this particular Pisces, you're looking at different ways to teach and raise your children because I feel like maybe you broke away from an old thinking system,
Mm-hmm.
but some of that thinking system still shows up in your parenting, and you're trying to look at a different way to parent these children, especially when it comes to life lessons and discipline and stuff like that. I also feel like this is triggering you and your partner to look at some unhealed parts of yourself. So it could be, let's say you grew up in a very religious household and your parents were very big disciplinarians, and the way they disciplined you or the way they treated you was very religious in nature, and somehow you've broken away from that and you want to look at how can you teach your children or mold your children differently and guide them differently when it comes to discipline and teaching them lessons. When we was kids, like if your parents whooped your ass, they didn't have to give you a reason. They didn't have to sit down and talk to you. So
Yeah.
like they didn't. So half the times we didn't even know we was getting our asses whooped. We didn't know. But like now you're seeing more parents saying, okay, this is why you're in trouble. You're not in trouble for this, but you're in trouble for that. And the reason why you're in trouble for that is because if you do this further down in life, this is what can happen to you in life. So we're more interested in molding our children, not just disciplining them because they got on our nerves or they did something that we felt
Hmm.
wasn't right. So I feel like in the fall time, the two of you gonna come together and y'all gonna start really making way on how y'all really want to mold y'all family structure because it's still growing. I'm also sensing another child coming into the family somewhere. So somewhere somebody's gonna have a baby. And that's all I have. All right, Gemini for you, Joy.
Oh, Gemini. Mm. All right, Gemini. All right, Gemini. So Gemini's for your general reading. I actually have it looks like there is going to be a couple of celebrations taking place. From what I see from the Geminis, that it looks like you guys have started to focus a little bit more inward, right? And I don't know why I'm going to love, right? Because everybody's going, it seems like we all going into love, but focus inward and really work on some of you guys' relationships. And with that being said, I do see some celebrations there. When I'm saying celebrations, I do see some marriages or marriage proposals with you guys. Just based off of everything that you have worked on when it comes to working on yourself. Um, I also have a card here that says, remember that it's okay to be happy. Really, it is. So, with that being said, don't look at it as it's too good to be true, y'all, Geminis. It's okay. Like, whatever has happened in the past, it's okay to kind of let that be part of your story, but you don't have to dwell on it. All right. It's okay to be happy. Embrace being happy. Embrace the love that you have there. Embrace your person. You've worked for it, right? You did your self work and things like that. So it's time to celebrate yourself. Celebrate your accomplishment as far as doing the work, and then celebrating the new love that you have and those proposals and marriages that's coming along. Be happy, y'all. It's okay. It's okay.
All right, Tiara, you have Taurus.
I think we just going down a love rabbit hole tonight. Because I'm looking at these cards like, okay. So, Taurus, what I have is you say you want a relationship, but you self-sabotaging. So which one is it? Um, and the biggest thing that I'm getting for the Taurus is the person that is in front of you is not the image of who you thought you were going to be with. And you are having a very hard time
Ooh.
with that. A very hard time with that. Okay. But remember, that's what you asked for. So because it's not wrapped up in a bow and nice and pretty, you like, well, wait a minute. What am I doing? And because you're stuck on that image, you're failing to look at the person and see them. You're looking, it's almost like you're looking at the outside appearance. So, okay, instead of him being 6'4", he might be 5'10", and you got a problem with that. So, um, I'm gonna say don't focus on your list. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Don't focus on your list. You have a list that says you want your man or woman to be this, have this type of job, this type of career, make this kind of money, look like this, be a size, whatever. And the person that is presenting themselves to you does not look like what you think it should look like. But you got to think, love is blind, right? So, I would say give it a chance. Give it a chance, Taurus. You might be blocking your soulmate.
That
So that's what I
part.
have for the Tauruses.
Taurus, don't be blocking your blessings now. All right, it is my turn, and looks like I got Virgo. That's supposed to go. What is this about? Virgo. So I like this. You are done with making excuses in your life, and you are choosing to walk away from something that is toxic into something new. You are choosing to move on. You are you finally tired. You tired of making excuses. You tired of finding, looking for reasons to stay where you currently are, to stay stagnant, whether it's in a relationship or at a job or in a certain situation or keeping a certain friendship. And you are choosing to move forward. Kudos to you. Let me see the outcome. I'll put one for relationship and one for work. What's the outcome if a Taurus goes towards a relationship? Leaves a relationship. If you leave a relationship, I see you finding your own happiness and rebuilding. I also see you healing because I feel like some of y'all Virgo, y'all haven't really completely matured in the area of like relationships and love. So you're gonna take this experience that you had from this past situation with you and build off of that. For someone who was leaving a job and moving on, baby, I see you working towards either finding a job that you like or career that you like where you are much more appreciated and loved, or eventually working for yourself. So congratulations to you for choosing you, Virgo. All right, Joy. We already did Gemini, didn't we?
Yep.
Joy, how you get Gemini twice?
Mm-hmm. I'm
Okay,
swinging.
Joy, I got Leo for you.
Okay. All right, Leos. Let's see what we have. All right, Leos. Um, what I currently have for the Leos, and I'm sorry if I'm sniffing, but what I currently have the Leos is um, you guys are focusing on protection. When I'm saying protection, I'm going back to love. I'm also going to say job security here. So let me put this deck. You're focusing on protecting your energy right now. I see a couple of Leos are dealing with dealing with like a spouse that may be going through a separation there. So you're trying to protect your energy and not focus on that. Um, with doing that, um, I need you to understand what you're going through currently, right? Is is supposed to be happening. I'm not sure how, if that was a toxic relationship that I'm picking up for some of the Leos, but that distance or that separation is what is needed for you to advance and grow there. Also with some of the Leos, there's some shadow work that you need to do. So there may have been some other things that you may have done in that relationship that caused it to go not so good, right? There's things that you guys need to work on, Leos. Understand that the relationship, yes, you're trying to protect yourself. You've moved on. The relationship really wasn't what it was meant to be at that time because you guys wasn't necessarily aligned at that time. So there's work that needs to be done on your part, so you can start attracting and manifesting the partner that you want to have there.
All right, T. Libra.
Okay, so the theme of the night is love. So, Libras, for you, um, I see that you've been on a journey. What do I mean by you've been on a journey? You've been single for a while. So you've been searching, you've been doing some soul searching, you've been doing the shadow work, you've been figuring out who you are, what it is you want, what it is that you don't want, right? Um and I see it's honestly going to pay off. You're learning a lot about yourself, and I do see a loving relationship coming to you. That's going to end in when that relationship comes. Let me say this because one thing I do see is be mindful not to be over dependent on your partner. Basically don't love bomb them. So if you've done the work, you should truly know who you are. um and in the relationship, give it time. You don't have to rush it. What's for you is for you. If this is your person, it's going to work out. You don't have to force anything. You don't have to feel you need to say things to keep them there. You're going to be secure within yourself. So if you find yourself questioning things, or holding your new person accountable for someone from your past, look in the mirror and figure out what is causing that before you go trying to pick a fight with your new person. Okay, Libras. All right.
All right. I got Aquarius. We haven't done Aquarius right.
No, ma'am.
So Aquarius, you have been working on something creatively in the dark and you haven't told anybody about it. But you've been gathering your tools and really, I feel like for these particular Aquarians, you really found your passion. And I feel like it's more creatively, like you found your passion creatively and you about to really come out with some things and show the world something that you've been working on behind the scenes. This is going to be quick. How successful is going to be? It's going to be successful. Um, you have found the cards. I said the cards. You have found like your passion. You found your purpose, and you're stepping into it, and you're about to be very successful. So that's what I got for Aquarians. Congratulations to you. All right. Joy.
God,
Capricorn.
Capricorn. Okay. Sorry. Capricorns. Hey. All right. Capricorns. What I have for Capricorns right now is patience. Capricorns, a couple of you guys are hmm, a couple of you guys are looking to move forward with, I'm gonna say I'm gonna have to do careers and love here because I have two different pools there. Um Looking to move forward with a different job position. With the Capricorns, with the job position, what I'm seeing that you guys are going to have to be patient. The new job is not going to be for you currently. There is a job that I see that's coming for the Capricorns that's looking to change positions, but the current position that you are looking for, that's not going to be what you want to step into. So just be patient with it because the next position that's coming, that is definitely going to be fruitful for you guys. Um, but just don't accept anything currently there just because you want to move positions. Also, with the love, I do see again patience. Love is coming. I do see that I have whoever your person is. Whew, they are definitely going to be sent to you by your ancestors. So there's been work that's been put in on the other side for you guys to make sure that they're bringing your person to you, right? Um, with that being said, it is still due to work that you have done. So it's getting close to the time where your person that you're going to be with is going to be coming forward. Just understand that it's time to embrace it. Don't run away. You're moving into a new season there. So with that new season, just remember to not take on once you get into the relationship, not take on some of those old habits that you may have developed. In previous relationships. So with that being said, listen. So that's when I don't know why that's the thing that came to me, right? Is just listen. So with that new relationship, listen, hear out. Just don't go, oh, they said something I don't like. I'm done. Right. Just listen. Let's take on some new attributes or some new ways of thinking with that relationship that's coming for the Capricorns. Okay.
You ain't have to read me like that.
So sorry. Yeah, so enough tried to read me down with the dang on Pisces. It's all right.
Ooh, that's an offline conversation. All right, who am I reading? Uh-oh. There she go.
You got Scorpio. I meant to press the unmute and press the leave the stage button.
Girl, you said I'm out. Okay. All right. What we got for the Scorpios? Toodoo, toodoo, toodoo. Mm. Scorpios, get out y'all head. But what are y'all in y'all head about? All right, Scorpios. So we got a shift. This is about you guys' finances. You guys need to make better financial decisions at the time, but also stop playing victim. When I say stop playing victim, take accountability for the actions and decisions that you guys are making. Instead of saying, well, Jane Doe ain't pay me my check on time. That's not Jane's Doe's fault because just last week you were at the crab house blowing money, getting crabs, blowing money on alcohol. So you got to be financially responsible So when things happen, you're prepared for them instead of trying to blame blame someone else for your choices or lack of resources. I do see it's going to get better for you once you take accountability for your actions, and in the long run, if you practice self-control and set financial goals. And you do not have to, when I say set financial goals, right? I don't mean sit down and plan out your whole year. Baby steps. Budget out your next paycheck. Start there. And it don't have to be the big, what you see, months down the line. Look at the next one. So, like, look at your next paycheck or your next source of income and just budget that out. Um, to because I promise you, once you do that, you're gonna have the money to pay your bills, and you're gonna see that you've been, I'll just use that as an example. Wasting money at Starbucks every day. That, $5 a day, that adds up. That $5 can be your gas in your car for the week to get back and forth to work. So that's what I mean by you have to take accountability for your actions and your finances. And once you do that, that's going to be your breakthrough because you're going to see that you can do it because um, mm, your mind, you don't have a good mindset around money. And what do I mean by that? It's based on what you were taught. In your childhood regarding finances and money. One of the other ladies mentioned earlier, you got to change. You got to change your thinking of how you were raised and focus on what you're doing today. It may not work how your parents did it or your grandparents did it. We in a different time. So once you sit down and figure that out, you're gonna see that you do have the money to do what needs to be done. You'll have the money to pay all your bills and pay them on time. And then you can see where you have extra so you can splurge a little bit. Okay? All right, Scorpio, tighten up.
Okay. Now, rolling two dice at the same time. We only got two more signs left. Okay, I got Cancer.
That means what? Joy got Sagittarius.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy because I definitely said that was my pool. Sorry.
So, Cancer, you are at a roadblock in your relationship or your connection. This is about love. Sorry, guys. But you're not sure what to do. And you haven't really been expressing how you've been feeling in this connection. You've been kind of hiding it and masking it. You feel like your partner's not appreciating you. Your partner might have some like narcissistic traits, like weight abusive, but you just been kind of tolerating it. But I feel like for some of y'all gonna get tired of that shit. Um, and you're gonna choose you. You're gonna choose to walk away. You're gonna choose to make better choices. And you're gonna choose to manifest somebody else in your life. I do feel like some of y'all are afraid to be alone, so you hesitate to make the decision because you don't want to be alone. But I feel that alone is what you need to be because this relationship definitely needs to be over. And really, for you to step into any new beginnings, you're gonna have to end it. And that's what I got for Cancers.
All right. For our Sagittarius. Again, guys, Sagittarius and dealing with love. So that's what I'm drawing to for them. So with the Sagittarius, what I have here is a couple of you guys have dealt with some heartbreak there. You're working on healing your heartbreak that you experienced in the past, right? I'm just gonna be honest. Some of that heartbreak is due to lack of communication. You're not communicating with your partner effectively. right? Was not communicating with your partner effectively is causing some strains in the relationship. Um, Sagittarius. With that being said, just make sure that you are working those kinks out. Whatever you feel like you have not been able to communicate with them, it is going to be right now your strongest point on actually moving forward with your relationship. I do see the relationship is going to be good, right? Um, but there is some things that needs to be communicated. There are some talks that needs to be had. Um, I do see a couple of Sagittarius need to watch for the signs of maybe their spouse just kind of or their partner kind of, I don't want to say not giving a fuck, but not really caring. I know that sounds kind of harsh, but it's really due to the way that you guys are communicating right now. It's like they care, but then they care about your feelings, but then they don't really care because you're not actually communicating with them the way that you need to. Once you get that together, again, I do see that your path is going to be aligned and things, but you have to get that in order for you guys to move forward. I do see that your spirit team, they're actually helping supporting you with that healing that you need to do, Sagittarius. Um, so just depend on if it's hard for you to get past some of those things from your past and some of the communication issues with your spouse. Depend on your ancestors, your spirit team, your guides, to help guide you in the right direction, um, to make your mouth not be so harsh to them. If that makes sense. It looks like y'all been cutting them down. I don't know why y'all been cutting them down, but y'all been cutting them down with not trying to communicate. It's like when you communicate, it's like, but then when you like silent, you silent. So y'all work on that. But y'all be good once you get that together. Okay, Sag?
All right, everyone. This concludes our show. Thank you for tuning in. Again, if you would like to reach Rose Red, you can reach her at 443-537-9121, or you can visit her IG at 4Rose Red and click the link tree. That being said, peace.
Bye,
Yeah,
y'all.
yeah, bye.